deep into the eyes, read them like a book. Trapped inside a prison, gotta free them like a crook. Make off with the loot, made off for the joke. Treated like these cowards never needed what we took, and we repeat it like a hook. Caught in the deep, come back like Wheezy. Card 3, sensation. Wait, then pause the beat. Eyes don't lie, truth still hard to see. They're begging me to show them, they're saying that I owe them, but I'll never give it up. Not for you, not for no one. Foreign ride, touring, soaring, open road, exploring, creepers, sleepers.
Yes, y'all. Welcome to the show. This is Smoke the Competition. I'm your host, Eric Sojash. Thank you for joining us. Please give us a like. Please subscribe. It's greatly appreciated. You can follow us on Twitter at Sojash Sports. Today's episode, we're diving into the NFL Week 9, already more than halfway through the season. Can't believe it. We're going to jump into your Thursday night football matchup between the Titans and the Steelers. We're going to break down some of your fantasy football lineups. We're going to talk about your waiver reviews, see if you picked up some of the players I suggested and how they've done so far. We're also going to talk about your must-starts of the week for this Thursday night football game. So sit back, relax, let's have a good time, and enjoy the show. First thing I want to do is review those waivers, see if you picked up some of those players I suggested and how they turned out. First player I want to talk about that's an absolute boom off the waivers is wide receiver of the Seattle Seahawks, Jackson Smith-Njigba. I told you guys to pick him up off waivers heading into that Week 7 matchup against the Arizona Cardinals. That week he absolutely went off. 14 fantasy points on 4 catches for 63 yards and a touchdown. He followed that up against a tough Cleveland Browns defense in Week 8, where he had 3 catches on 4 passes for 36 yards and another touchdown, the game-winning touchdown. He's only going to pick up from there, ladies and gentlemen. As the matchups begin to get easier, Jackson Smith-Njigba is going to get more and more opportunity. Keep riding with him. He was a great pickup. Get him in your lineups when you can and enjoy the points. The next player off waivers that I see is an absolute boom that I had suggested you pick up in the past was tight end of those Buffalo Bills, Dalton Kincaid. With the injury to Dawson Knox, Dalton has stepped into a full-time role and he's taken full advantage. Over the past 2 weeks, he's scored 12 fantasy points and 15 in half PPR formats. That's on some great target shares. He's been getting 8 and 7 targets per game. That's the most he's received all season, and it's only going to go up from there. Dalton Kincaid is an absolute must-start week in and week out unless you have one of the top 2 or 3 tight ends. I believe he's going to keep ascending, something like what you see with Sam Laporta in Detroit. This is the time to get Dalton Kincaid. Great player off waivers. I hope you were able to pick him up. He's been a waiver boom that's going to continue to rise. All right, let's jump into this Thursday night football game. NFL Week 9, we got the Tennessee Titans traveling to Pittsburgh to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. This should be a classic battle. Pittsburgh is 2.5-point favorites at home in this battle, taking on the rookie quarterback, Will Levis, who's coming off a fantastic NFL debut. We're going to dive into these lineups, see who you should start, see who you should sit, and then eventually pick the winner. Okay, let's break down the Tennessee Titans and see who you should start and see who you should sit. Kicking things off for Tennessee is their rookie quarterback, coming off his career debut where he absolutely went crazy. 36 fantasy points, 4 touchdowns scored, no turnovers. We're looking at Will Levis here, traveling to Pittsburgh, take on that Mike Tomlin defense led by J.J. Watt's little brother TJ. This defense is insane. Minka Fitzpatrick might miss the game, which is a big miss for those Pittsburgh Steelers. However, they do have exceptional defensive schemes, blitzing packages, coverage schemes that are hard to read, especially for a rookie quarterback. I see Will Levis as a risky start this week, even though he's coming off that fantastic performance. I don't know if I'd put him in my lineups just yet. Definitely pick him up off waivers. Hold on to him if you can. This is going to be a tough game for him. I see him as a risky start, but if you have that type of balls, you want to throw him in your lineup right away, hey, take your shot, see if you hit. Moving over to the running back position, we're looking at the running back for the Tennessee Titans. That's King Henry. Nobody's better, nobody's bigger, nobody's stronger. And in this matchup, I see King Henry as an absolute must start. He's going against this Pittsburgh Steelers defense. Like I previously said, they're going to be going after that rookie quarterback. They're much better on the back end. defending the pass than they are defending the run. And I believe Mike Vrabel and this offense is going to lean heavily on their King Henry to get the job done here. This is a very winnable game for both teams. And with that said, the running game is going to be very much in play from start to finish. That's when you got to get King Henry in your game. He's an absolute must start. He should probably get a touchdown. I see him scoring at least double-digit fantasy points in his Thursday night showdown. Hopping over to the wide receiver room, no pun intended, but we got DeAndre Hopkins here as an absolute must start this week. I know, I said Will Levis is a risky play this week, but his number one receiver just went absolutely bananas. 4 catches, 3 touchdowns. Didn't get a lot of opportunities for targets, but the ones that he did, he turned them into humongous plays, getting 6 every time he touches the ball. I can see him doing that at least one time against Pittsburgh, and if he does, I wouldn't want to have that on my bench. Get him in your lineups. Hopkins is too talented to bench right now. He's a must start. There might be something brewing between him and Will Levis, so you don't want to miss out on whatever they might be doing. On the flip side, we got Treylon Burks, second-year wide receiver with loads of talent. I see him going into this matchup as a risky start. He's coming off a game with a complete goose egg. Like I said, there wasn't a lot of targets. DeAndre Hopkins, the all-pro superstar, only caught 4 passes and turned those into 3 touchdowns. On the flip side, our man here, Treylon Burks, caught 0 passes. He wasn't able to get anything going with Will. Too big of a risk here for me. I'm going to put him on the bench. However, I do think he's a great stash in all leagues, especially deeper leagues. He might have something going with Will as they continue to grow together. And Treylon, like I've been saying to everyone who will listen, is an absolute talent when he's healthy. Get him on your benches, and let's hope for something to develop down the road. Okay, let's have a look at those Pittsburgh Steelers, see who should be starting, and see who you should be sitting. Off the rip, we're going to talk about quarterback Kenny Pickett this week. I see him as a risky play. He's coming off a rib injury. He's not 100%. There's no guarantee he can even finish this game. That looked like a brutal shot that he took, and he looked really banged up. Hey, hats off to him for coming back. Kid's tough. He's fighting to get back out there for his teammates. But even when he was healthy, he was struggling to make anything happen, just connecting every now and then with George Pickens for a touchdown. Finally got Deontay Johnson back, but I still see him as a risky play. I'd look elsewhere, keep Pickett on the bench, or even drop him into the waivers. This isn't the season for him. Definitely a risky play. Moving over to the running back room, we got Najee Harris. This week, I got him as an absolute risky play again. This is a risky start. Put him on your benches. He's been terrible all season, running in mud. Even when he has an opportunity to blow up, it's just if he scores touchdowns, the guy hasn't been able to make explosive plays. They're not using him enough in the passing game, and the offense does not sustain enough drives. Najee's risky play. Stay away unless you have no choice due to the bye weeks, like I do in one league, but I don't have a lot of hope for this. He's got to fall into the end zone for you to salvage his fantasy day. Looking at the wide receiver room for the Pittsburgh Steelers, we're going to talk about Deontay Johnson. Number 18 is going to be a good start this week going against those Tennessee Titans. Their run defense is exceptional. Their pass defense is where they're vulnerable. And Deontay Johnson is a route running exceptionaire. This guy knows how to separate. He knows how to gain ground on the corners and then just break off his route and make space. Kenny Pickett knows how to use them. Last week in his first game back, he caught 8 passes. He's only going to build from there. This kid is a stud in PPR formats. I'd like to say he's a must start, but the Pittsburgh offense just isn't good enough. They don't sustain enough drives to go there, but I believe he's a good start this week. This is where they're going to attack the defense, and like I said before, this man knows how to separate and get open. And last but certainly not least, we're going to be looking at wide receiver of the Pittsburgh Steelers, number 14, George Pickens. This week he's a good start. Normally I'd like to say Pickens is a must start. On almost any other team with any other offensive coordinator and quarterback, he would be a must start. This guy's an alpha wide receiver with uber talent, but unfortunately in this offense, he doesn't even get enough target share. If they just threw the man the ball 8 to 10 times a game, I guarantee he would put up wide receiver numbers week in and week out. For some reason, that's not in the cards. So once again, he's a good start. Anytime he touches the ball, he's liable to score. That's why you got to have him in your lineups. But until they really start to use him at a high clip, he's never going to get that must-start territory. This week, we're going with George as a good start, and hopefully he can exceed that. So who gets the win on Thursday night and why? Well, I'm not too sure who's going to pull out the victory in the end, but I am laying the 2.5 points on the road Titans. Let's go Titans at plus 2.5. Steelers might win this game, but I think it's going to be a very close game. 1 point win, maybe 2 at most if they do pull it off, or even the Titans can get the road victory. Lately, I'm going to ride with trends, and the trend right now is that the Titans are trending in the upward trajectory. They've been playing better football of late. This new quarterback is very intriguing in Will Levis. And on the flip side, the Pittsburgh Steelers are trending in a downward trajectory. They haven't been able to figure anything out on offense. Even coming out of the bye, they still struggled. I don't think this team is going to get it going this season. They might have spurts here and there, but overall, I'm not buying Pittsburgh as an offensive team. The defense has to carry them, and eventually, that's going to not be sustainable. Let's go Titans, plus 2.5, Thursday Night Football. I can't wait. That's it for today's episode. Thank you for joining us. Give us a follow. Once again, subscribe to the channel. I'm Eric Sojash. Peace, love. Let's continue to smoke the competition.
Deep into the eyes, read them like a book. Trapped inside a prison, gotta free them like a crook. Make off with the loot, made off for the joke. Treated like these cowards never needed what we took, and we repeat it like a hook. Caught in the deep, come back like Wheezy. The card 3, sensation. Wait then, pause the beat. Eyes don't lie, truth still hard to see. They're begging me to show them, they're saying that I owe them, but I'll never give it up. Not for you, not for no one. Foreign ride, touring, soaring, open road, exploring.